Hello and welcome, cool cats, to BL 172.9. If you've been part-time dreaming and scheming a plan for your great escape, then grab you a plate because we're serving smooth, creative hits that'll make you want to quit that 9 to 5 job. Now sit back, relax, and you'll see, because you are traveling first class to where the part-time dreamers be. Welcome back to all my part-time dreamers that are dreaming big dreams. It is time to clock in, and you are just in time. Hello. Welcome back to the Part-Time Dreamer podcast, and I am your host, B. Lede. And today, our topic is about supporting artists and how you shouldn't expect blind support. So, I'm just going to jump right into it. So, I think it is very, very important that we as creators, as artists, support each other. And not just support each other just to help the cause or to support each other because it feels right, but to genuinely support each other. Now, what I mean by that is you may get someone that what you're doing, the content you're creating, may not necessarily be something that they're into, which will also tie into when I talk about blind support, but just talking about the aspect of artists supporting each other. Not everything is going to be everyone's cup of tea. And so make sure you support things that you do like. Now, it is also okay to support your friends, your family members, because especially when you're in the early stages of whatever you're trying to pursue, it can be very hard. And it does help to have people in your corner. It does help to have people on the sidelines rooting for you, because whenever things get really hard and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, or it doesn't seem like anything is happening quick enough, when you have those supporters, that is what keeps you going. Now, I'm actually just speaking from my own experience. I know me personally, whenever I'm feeling down or I'm in that moment of feeling bad for myself or not wanting, I don't want to say give up, because I don't feel like that, but it's just the moment of self-pity. And when I get encouraging words, or I get a compliment, or I hear someone cheering me on, it definitely drives me forward. That's how my personal my motivation language. Ooh, I like that. Because we all have different ways, or having different triggers that help motivate us. And I know I do better off of praise when I get recognition for what I'm doing, or someone recognize what I'm doing, and I already feel like, oh my God, I have such great ideas. Oh my God, people are going to love this. But when I get that feedback, it really helps me to keep going. It helps drive me forward. Now, keep in mind, that type of trigger can only last so long. I mean, you cannot, if that is the fuel to keep you going, it's going to take you from A to probably A.3. It's not going to get you to fully B to the next station, because most of the motivation language should come from the self-motivation. Things that you tell yourself, self-encouraging thoughts, positive thoughts, uplifting thoughts. That is what should be what motivates you. And I remember even when I went to therapy that she was asking me things, because that was my biggest thing of while I went to therapy was trying to kind of get my mojo back, trying to figure out how to get out of this space I was in where it was dark and I felt like there was no way to get out and I felt stuck. And so one of the things my therapist asked me was, what motivates you? And when I told her things, she was like, well, that's good, but how can you incorporate that into every day? That it's a consistent motivation. It's a motivation that can easily get you going. Because the things I listed were like listening to music, watching a TV show. And she was saying like, those are kind of temporary motivations and they cannot drive you along like you would want them to. And that's when you have the moments where you're stuck. And I would say that's another one of mine is the praises, because you're not always going to get it. Not everyone's going to pat you on the back and say, good job. Or someone's going to pat you on the back and say, you got to keep going. It has to be a lot of self-motivation. It has to be passion. It has to be everything from internal that can really keep you driven and going. The gas has to be yourself. You have to be producing your own gas. Because if you're producing your own gas, you're going to get very far versus waiting on someone to give you gas. And so to get back to the support topic itself, it is totally okay to support your friends and family member. And it is also okay for you to support things that you genuinely like. So if there's a content that you are actually interested in, it's okay to support that as well. Because normally things that you are interested in, or if you think that their content is good, like it's a good listen, it's something that you would share with other people, or you would tell other people, then, that is also a good thing as well. There's definitely nothing wrong with that, because I know, and to be honest, there's some stuff where I'm not really interested in, and I will support to like a certain extent, but at the same time, if I'm not really feeling it, I won't, because I don't like to fake the funk, I'm not going to fake and give someone the impression like, hey, I'm just going to, share absolutely everything because of, our relationship. It's like some things, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because like I said, I believe that everything that is done, not everyone is going to agree with or like or be interested in. And that's okay. But that's just a part of life, and that's a part of being a creative. That's what comes along with it. And leading off of that topic itself about not necessarily supporting something that you're interested in, okay, things get a little twisted, okay? Because if you do support someone, I believe that the initial support, like, even if you share something one time, that should definitely be enough. Now, of course, that continued support is awesome, but it shouldn't be expected. And that's what I would call blind support, because you're just doing it because of the relationship you have with that person. And that isn't something that should be expected. It should be appreciated. And let me repeat that for you one more time, okay? It should be something appreciated, not expected. Because being a creative, you are going to have people that will love your work, and you will have people that will despise your work. Either way it goes, the energy should still be the same. If you believe in what you do, you're going to have people who believe in what you do. And not only will they believe in what you do or what you have, but they will believe in it anymore because you believe in it. And it's just very important that you do have that self-reliance, that self-motivation. Because if you don't, you'll end up in a situation where you're bitter about someone not supporting you. And you never want to be in that position, because if someone supports you one time, that is okay. But don't always expect it. Just appreciate it when it does happen, because especially in the beginning stages, you could have friends, you could have family that will absolutely love what you do. And you may have some that will ignore what you do. And that is something you have to be okay with, because normally as an entrepreneur in the beginning stages, some of your first customers, some of your first listeners, some of your first watchers, whether they're watching your film, they're listening to your podcast, or you're having them look at your drawing or read your script, whatever the case may be, you have to know that they aren't obligated to like what you do. They aren't obligated to support it. You should be your biggest supporter, numero uno, all the time. It always has to be you. And I know it's so hard, because it's very easy to feel some type of way about someone not liking what you do. Or, you know what, scratch that. Not liking, but ignoring what you do. And you're going to have way more people that will ignore you in the beginning than will support you. And you have to be okay with that. And that is something that I have definitely learned, and I have grown to understand, to have a better understanding of. Because it's just not like, that's just not how the world works. And you have to realize the steps you have to take to get to where you want to be. And nothing in the beginning is ever easy. Now, some people get it easy. And if you are one of the ones who don't get it easy, that's the deck that you're playing with. And you just have to learn how to play it very well. You may not be very good in the beginning. You may not understand it very well. But keep playing the game long enough, you'll get good. There's no choice but to get good if you keep doing what you're doing. If you're still in the game, if you haven't quit. Now, if you play the game and you're frustrated from not understanding it and leave, of course you're never going to get better at it. But if you keep playing with different people, you keep putting yourself out there, you play with yourself, you play with other people, phrasing, then you will it will naturally come to you. And guess what? As you get better in your craft, because to be honest, a lot of the stuff that we begin with, even if we think it's good, it's probably normally that good. Now, I'll just be honest. Like, I'm not saying every episode I do is on point. It's perfect. It sounds so good. It's fluid. It's funny. It's entertaining. You know, of course, that is the ultimate goal. And I try to always keep the same energy, because I may have no listens to that episode, but guess what? I'm proud of myself. I support myself. You know why? Because I got up and I did it. When I went through so much mentally to get to the place where I was even able to record that episode. And I'm guilty of it. I deal with external validation, or I rely on external validation that I will discount myself sometimes. Or I do have moments where I go, well, maybe I should just stop. What's the point? You know, you can get to that part of what's the point, but just don't stay there and don't wallow in it. Because if you're passionate about what you want to do, you will continue to do it no matter what. It won't be a problem. It won't be an issue. It will clearly just be something that is going to take time, like anything else. Anytime you normally start a job, everyone starts from the bottom. You know, before you own a company, you have to start being an employee of the company. Now, granted, if you inherited the company because of your family ties, that's different. But I'm talking about everyone who has to start from the bottom. We started from the bottom, now we're here. Okay? And so, we just have to learn to be comfortable with the idea that even though we want people to support us, it's not always going to be there. And you just have to be okay with it. And you have to know that if whatever you're doing has a potential to reach great heights, to become more developed, more better, funnier, and more entertaining, more detailed, more whatever, you just have to believe in the process. And the process can be very it can be very trying. It can be very overwhelming, underwhelming, frustrating. But you have to become your number one supporter. And when you do that, that's when the mindset changes. That's when it will click. And when you start seeing that support, you will realize when you didn't give up, when you continued going, that you will reap the benefits of the work that you put in. But you have to put in the work. Because nothing is ever handed to you. The majority, probably 98% of people, the work is never handed to you. But you can put a hand in the work to get where you want to go. You can steer the boat in the direction you want to go. But you're going to have to do some traveling. You're going to have to do something to get there. Because just sitting in the boat in the middle of the ocean waiting, just sitting there, it's not going to get you to the destination you want to be. And I am killing it with the metaphors. Oh my God. But yeah, I just want to leave final thoughts here. Put in the work and don't expect the support. Just appreciate when it comes. And always, always, always be your number one supporter. And you will get so far. All right. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. And I will see y'all later. Well, I won't see y'all because it's a podcast. But I will definitely talk to you later. Bye-bye.